Welcome to today's episode. We have some exciting news.
We do.
So we've been looking at ways to keep making this podcast more and more exciting. We just recently brought back video on YouTube. But next, we're like, you know what we should do is add a third host.
A third host.
Like someone who can bring a different layer. Like Tyne's a PCOS dietitian. I'm a PCOS personal trainer. How about somebody who can focus on lowering cortisol, helping with stress, things like that? So we looked everywhere. Of course, we wanted to make sure that we compensate for this person for their time. So found somebody, made a really very glorious contract. They're being paid in very good snacks, very high quality kibble. They have a place to sleep for free housing, free lots of stuff.
All
toys,
to be on the podcast.
all to be a host on the podcast. Now, I'm really excited for everyone to say hi to Kismet.
Kismet. Our new boxer dog.
What do you have to say?
Doctor said you got PCOS. Now go on, girl, just lose some weight. Till I took the symptoms into my own hands and reverse them naturally.
Huh? What do you have to say for yourself?
Say something, Kismet. Give us a sniffle.
No sniffles today.
No sniffles today.
Well,
Ugh, she's the cutest dog ever, you guys. She's a 9-week-old puppy.
10 weeks now.
10 now. Oh my God. And she's so wrinkly and her paws are so cute. And we keep wiping her every time we bring her into the house. But one day we're going to get sick of it because it's really hard to keep this dog clean.
Yeah, and her name is Kismet. I don't know if you know this, but Kismet basically means destiny or fate. And the reason why we named her Kismet is because, so like the way Ty and I met, do you want to explain maybe like how we...
Yeah, we met on Tinder and I always thought to myself, like, what are the odds that I would meet somebody who's like Sirak, who could just like deep dive into PCOS and like be creative and all of these things. Like, what are the chances? Like, not everyone is interested in health and wellness and women's health. And so I just feel like it was Kismet that we met.
Yeah, and same goes for me. I mean, we never planned on like ever really working together, although like we hit it off from the first day. And who knew like we would have a really good relationship together, but also be able to work together on like this huge mission of helping others and us always having the same vision and the same like, you know, motivation and passion to help others with PCOS. So I think it's like a obviously Kismet.
Yes.
That all this happened. And speaking of, so Tyne's Christmas gift, part of her Christmas gift was I got her dancing lessons.
Oh my gosh.
Like dancing lessons, because Tyne has been saying for years since the pandemic that she's wanted to do dancing lessons, but we couldn't do it back then, obviously because everything was shut down. And then, you know, we traveled, kind of forgot about it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, we went last night and it was kind of a funny story. So I thought I booked salsa dancing classes. And then we get there and we come to realize it's actually bachata classes.
Which I think is like much more sensual.
Sensual with the X. Let's put the X. More
Sexual.
sexual. Yeah.
But it was level 1. It wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
But at first we were like, what's going on? It's already embarrassing. Like, it's your first time at a dance class.
Yeah.
And then we were laughing so hard.
Well, when it first started, we just couldn't stop laughing because not because we were laughing at anybody else or like what they were doing. It was the situation. Like we came thinking it was salsa, and then we get started, and then they start doing like these moves with the hips.
the instructors.
Yeah, like the
so
warm-ups.
sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're like, oh my God. And then we look
What
at
are
each
we
other and we
doing?
start laughing, and we're trying to hold, you know, like when you're in a classroom and you're trying to hold your laughter together with your friend and you can't, and it's getting worse and worse. That's exactly what it was. And then but we got it together after like a minute, and then got into the class.
Then the guy asked if we wanted to rotate, which means like, do you want to change partners every time the song changes or whatever?
Well, I didn't know what that meant.
And
Because
Sirak said yes.
No,
I was like, no, what the heck?
Because we were dancing for a minute, and then he came to us. He's like, "Are you guys rotating?" And I didn't know what that means. Okay, I'm new to the dance world, and I thought he meant like, "Are you rotating?" Like meaning, are you doing spin moves or like, are you doing the crazy stuff?
My God.
I swear, I don't want to rotate with somebody. There's like different kind. There's like older.
I know.
You know, like I'm not gonna dance with somebody's aunt.
I know. And
wanna
your
dance
wife
with my
is
wife.
standing there. Yeah, I know.
I'm already
Thank you
reluctant
so
to come
much.
to this dancing
then
lesson. I'm not gonna
he
dance
put
with
us in the
old-
front of the class on top of all of that. He put us in the front of the class and
yeah.
we're like new. We've never done this before. But in the end, it turned out really good.
Yeah.
And It was really fun, and I want to go back every Friday
Yes.
night. And it was just 1 hour. It flew by.
Yeah.
We left the dog at home, which was like our first time leaving the dog at home, but it was totally fine.
Yeah.
I think it was great.
I bought 10 dancing classes like for us to both go to. So we're going to be going for a while. For anyone who's in the Orange County area, we went to Atomic Dance Ballroom. They have all different types of classes. So if you live in Orange County, we highly recommend it. I think it's like near Irvine. So
Yeah.
really cool spot. And yeah, we're very happy.
Are we going to show them our dance moves?
Oh yeah, okay. All right. We'll do the dance moves. Well, we learned the whole thing at the end of the episode.
Okay.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you can watch it too with us or you can watch it with everybody else.
Yes.
Okay.
All
cool.
right.
So today's episode is related to breakfast. We really want to talk about how to strategize breakfast to make sure you're optimizing yourself for the rest of the day. And a big disclaimer, if you're having 2 eggs for breakfast, I hate to break it to you, or we hate to break it to you, but you're probably not having enough protein.
Yes, that's so true. And you know what? It might be frustrating to hear that because I remember I used to skip breakfast and just have coffee, or I was told like intermittent fasting is a good idea. So I would skip breakfast, right? Then I was told eat eggs. Okay, so I eat eggs. And now we're telling you 2 eggs are not enough. So you're probably like, what am I supposed to eat? Like, what am I supposed to do? So
Yeah.
we're going to give some examples in this episode. Don't worry.
Yes, exactly. And you've probably also been through, by the way, Tanya, I have, maybe because I'm wearing headphones, but every time each of us breathe or swallow, it's coming so much through my headphones. So I'm so sorry to listeners for both of our noise making. We'll try to like
Mouth noises.
Yeah, it's all I can hear everything through the headphones. Maybe it's because the microphones got upgraded so I can hear everything.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, but you've probably been through like all the different diet culture tips, right? About skipping breakfast, just having coffee, or not eating anything except for like 1 meal a day, things like that. And we're gonna like demystify, or not demystify, we're gonna debunk those kinds of suggestions, because you're gonna learn how breakfast is like literally the most important meal of the day for PCOS.
For PCOS.
I know we've heard that for so many times from doctors or from like general information, like breakfast is super important, but it really is, and especially for PCOS. We're gonna talk about that.
Yes. Now, before we get into it, should we read some wins of the week?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'll go first. We have Megan from the Sisterhood. She says, I just have to say that I've been eating 30 grams of protein for breakfast the past 3 days, and what a difference it has made. I feel renewed. I had no idea it would make this much of a difference in how I feel. I actually make my own chicken patties from ground chicken and eat it with sauteed sweet potato and cabbage in the mornings, and wow, I'm feeling great. I struggle with whey protein powders and collagen with overnight oats and smoothies and whatnot. I think I need whole foods or else my guts revolt. I'm a very sensitive person, but I just wanted to hop on here and say how much of a difference it already made. I'm feeling hopeful.
That's amazing.
I
Great job,
know.
Megan. Just goes to show how much like 30 grams of protein can make a difference for just like few days even in the
Yeah.
beginning. So yeah, I love that. And shout out to the chicken patties. We literally had the same thing in the Sisterhood recipes for dinner like just 2 nights ago. I think Ty made it more like a chicken nugget style with. We also had sweet potatoes, and I think instead of cabbage, we had zucchini. So that was really good.
Yeah. All right,
Awesome.
next.
All right. This one is from Instagram. Unfortunately, we don't have her name, but she says, as of this week, by following your meal plans, I have lost 30 pounds. My symptoms are lessening and my testosterone labs are normal. It wasn't until I started following your tips that I actually saw results. Thank you for what you do. Speaking to doctors regarding my PCOS was so disappointing. I'm glad I'm finally seeing results. Well, we're so sorry you had the disappointing experiences with doctors, but we're just so happy that you're able to lessen those symptoms, improve the testosterone labs. So great job. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Seems like 30 is going to be a theme
The
today.
number.
But yeah, great job, sister, for losing the 30 pounds.
Okay, shall we get into it?
Yeah. So I think we're going to break it down into 2 powerful strategies, right, for breakfast?
Right. So the first powerful strategy is eating a big breakfast and a small dinner. Just the other day, I was on YouTube Shorts and I came across one from Dr. Phyllis Gersh, and you've heard us talk about it. She's a gynecologist, a naturopathic, functional licensed doctor, and she also has a book called PCOS SOS. So I follow her, and her YouTube short came on, and she was like, it's so funny that this came on right before we recorded this. She goes, In the mornings, you are most insulin sensitive. So this is prime time for you to eat more of your calories because your body is ready to metabolize it. You've fasted throughout the night, right? You're asleep, you haven't eaten anything for maybe 12, 13 hours. And now your body is ready to break down what you're going to eat. And breakfast being the most important meal of the day, you want to make it larger, more of your calories because your metabolism's working better. So, in fact, so after I read that, I mean, I heard that, I was like, oh, I love this lady. because
Yeah.
because I had read this research study about PCOS women who ate a big breakfast and a small dinner. And this is something I read about like a year ago and I started implementing, and I love it so much. It said studies show that this will reduce your testosterone levels.
This as in,
This
sorry.
as in eating a big breakfast, small dinner,
Cool.
by 50%.
5-0.
And your insulin levels will go down by 46% and an increase in ovulation by 50%. This is
amazing.
what the research study showed. And I think it's so incredible because we get these labs done and we don't understand why our testosterone's so high and we try all these different things. But it could be as simple as moving around your calories and just having more of it earlier in the day.
Yeah, and this study didn't actually restrict calories. So let's break this study down because it gets really interesting when you look at the details. So in this study, the participants were split into two groups. They both ate 1,800 calories a day, but the difference was when they ate those calories. So again, no restriction in the big breakfast group. It was just the timing of their meals. That was the only difference. So one group had most of their calories at breakfast, a medium lunch, and a small dinner. The other group flipped it. They had a small breakfast, a medium lunch, and most of their calories at dinner. After 90 days, the results were pretty amazing. The women who ate the big breakfast, as Tanya mentioned earlier, had better blood sugar, insulin levels, and their free testosterone dropped by 50%. They also had an increase in sex hormone binding globulin, which helps clean up excess testosterone, and their ovulation rates improved too. Meanwhile, the group who ate the big dinner didn't see those improvements. This just goes to show how like the group of people who might be like, eating less calories is the solution, or that's the only way to lose weight with PCOS. But just goes to show you like there's so many more layers to how the hormones work, the insulin hormone, and how eating, like Tanya said, in the morning, you're more efficient at burning those foods for energy instead of retaining them for fat. So just moving things around can make a huge difference. So it's amazing.
It's amazing. And I really think that if doctors, instead of saying eat less, move more, they said this, eat a bigger breakfast, smaller dinner, we would have such better progress because it's not restricted. Like once you eat that big breakfast, it is going to help reduce your cravings. It's going to help manage your blood sugar for the rest of the day. And it's not just about big breakfast. It's about having a lot of protein in that breakfast. And we're going to get into that in a second. But it is so much more of an efficient tip than eat less, move more.
Yeah. Honestly, this whole episode I feel like should have been dedicated just to
To
this.
that.
Yeah, because
but I
it's
need
such
to
a big...
layer in the next
Oh, yeah,
one,
yeah.
or else you're eating like pancakes for breakfast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we do actually have an example. So we want to make an example of a big breakfast and small dinner meal plan, just as for our listeners. So Tyne, what would be some options for a large breakfast?
So for a large breakfast, this is what I started out with. I thought it was a really easy way to get in around 800 or 700 calories, which is almost half of my calories for the day. So I make a smoothie. I add 2 scoops of protein powder, 2 tablespoons of almond butter, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, half a cup berries, half a banana, some milk, a cup of milk or so. And that's it. That's like almost 800 calories.
Nice.
And it's really easy. It's not super filling and heavy where, sometimes people are like, I don't feel like eating breakfast. I can understand that like eating a bunch of eggs, bacon, bread, whatever, like that's a lot of volume and maybe you're not in the mood for that. You just woke up. So I find that a smoothie is a really easy way to get it down without having to think about it too much.
Yeah, totally.
Then after that, you would have a medium lunch. So maybe that's like a salmon and, quinoa and vegetable like medley, a bowl or something. And then for dinner, you could have lettuce wraps, which are low carb, but you had most of your calories and carbs earlier in the day.
Yeah, and just to add to that note, you're not restricting your carbs for the day, just maybe having less carbs at dinner, but you made up for that for breakfast and lunch while you're more efficient. Sorry, I'm sort of like kind of I'm thinking as I talk.
You're more efficiently.
At burning
Yeah.
insulin for energy or using insulin for energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
So let's get to the next pillar.
Yeah. And I just want to add a note too. If you're looking for large breakfast options, we have a whole category of them in the Sisterhood app, as well as small dinners or medium lunches. There's all these different kinds of categories to help you pinpoint exactly what you're looking for. So if you do decide to implement the big breakfast plan, we have recipes there to help you out.
Yes. Next up, the next tip is eating 30 grams of protein for breakfast.
Yeah, there's like a layer to basically the big breakfast.
Yes.
Like, what is the most important part about that big
Protein.
breakfast?
Exactly. I mean, 2 eggs is like a common, 2 eggs and some toast is like a common breakfast, but 2 eggs are not enough for you to have enough protein to help sustain your blood sugar until lunchtime or throughout the day. So 2 eggs are not enough. We're only getting half of the amount of protein we need. It's only 14 grams of protein, and we're trying to get in 30 grams. So, and many women with PCOS have insulin resistance, so it's really important to note this. So, if you want to feel satisfied and full, you want to have 30 grams of protein. Now, that would look like adding that would look like having chia seed pudding and adding a couple of scoops of protein powder to it, or the smoothie that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Or if you really want to have eggs, 3 eggs.
Yeah.
And like 2 bacon slices.
Yeah, like turkey bacon or like anything that kind of adds that layers of protein as you like. Some people like protein powder. Like I like protein powder in addition to something or
Yeah, exactly.
Some people even add collagen protein powder to their eggs.
Yeah.
Which I've heard is delicious. I don't think I've tried it.
Yeah, it is delicious and it doesn't really like add any flavor to it. It's just adding protein.
And keep in mind, you're gonna also like feel some of these benefits too. So with doing a high protein big breakfast plan, you'll feel like you have more energy all day, less cravings for sugars or carbs in the afternoon, a better mood, more stable focus as well, and better sleep because you're not overloading at dinner. Something we sometimes overlook, like for everybody, is when you have a big dinner in the evening, your body has to digest that. So it has to go through lots of, bodily functions while you're sleeping, digesting the food, breaking it down, instead of focusing on repairing cells, helping repairing skin, repairing hair, things like that. So when you don't have a big when you don't have a big dinner, your sleep will also improve.
Yeah, exactly. Also, not to mention, I skipped over this part. Eating protein helps boost your body's GLP-1, which makes you feel more satisfied, more full. So in addition to a lot of other natural things you can do to boost your body's GLP-1, eating protein is one of them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a natural GLP-1 booster.
Yeah, so is exercise, so is berberine. There are some ways to boost your GLP-1 naturally, and eating a lot of protein is one of them.
Yeah, I mean, think about that too. Like when you have like a protein shake, it kind of makes you feel a little bit fuller than normal, right? Like especially when you have it next to like a meal, you have that protein shake. Sorry, it makes you feel like more full than without it. So that totally makes sense.
Exactly. So if you start implementing these 2 pillars into your life, you're going to start noticing a difference in your hunger and fullness, in your cravings, in your blood sugar, in your insulin resistance,
The energy.
testosterone levels, and ovulation.
Yeah.
So what more can we ask for?
Yeah. So it's a great way to start 2025. If you're trying to build habits for 2025, this is essentially should be one of the core ones. And if you're looking for more like habits for 2025, we just did an episode last week or 2 weeks ago about 10 best New Year's resolutions for 2025 with PCOS. And speaking of, it kind of like has to do with all of this. We just released a new habit tracker on the app. We're really excited for it. We've gotten amazing feedback. Maybe we can show some screenshots of people's messages about it right here. But essentially, it's a new habit tracker to help you keep track of all your different habits as you go through PCOS management.
Yeah, it's like a checklist. You can just check off all of the different habits that you want to start applying into your PCOS lifestyle, into your lifestyle for PCOS. You can use the habits that we have in the tracker that we have suggested, or you can make your own. It's just a really easy way to create that PCOS checklist.
Yes, totally. So, as promised, we are going to give you a little bachata dance. Are we ready for this?
Let's do it.
Oh, Tanya's all ready. Okay, all right. Let me just put this here. Now, is Kismet going to chill? That's the real question. Let's put this over here. All right. We're gonna let that record. Let's put the mics like this. All right, good girl. We're gonna just push you over here, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Right. Are we in the shot?
Kind of.
Zoom out. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start going this way, right? Mm-hmm. All right. 5, 6, 7, 8.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Cuddle.
4.
Na 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 na. Hair flip, and then we come back, and then do a flip, and then a dip. Thanks for listening to this episode, sisters. We'll see you next time. That was a good ending.